On today's episode of the DeRaud-Messinger Show, we react to the Texas high school football preseason rankings. High school football fans, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. It's greatly appreciated. So Dylan, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, the state's official ranking provider, released their preseason rankings. So what do you think about the Class 1A Division II rankings?
Well, we got the usuals at the top. Then we got Balmaria, Richland Springs, Motley County, Strong. These are the four teams I'm really looking at this year to have sort of a bloodbath going into the playoffs. Really just jostling for positions, but I mean it'll be tightly contested. I'm interested to see who you think is coming out on the top here.
Oh, I'm not going any hot takes, but a team that needs to prove something, I think, is Motley County. They lost last year in the regional round of the playoffs to Balmaria, who ended up winning the championship, obviously. Motley County, they're ranked at number 1, so they have to prove that they can be the state champion when the year is over, but that's just something to watch out for. And then a team that maybe is underrated, but maybe not because they lost quite a bit of talent, is Balmaria. They won the state title, like I just said, and they're ranked at number 4. So that is a team that I'll be watching out for. Now we move to Class 1A Division 1. Dylan, anybody stand out there?
I'm really looking at Borden County. I think their offense is another tool for them to really carry them to the state finals. But again, it's another bloodbath in a sense with Sterling City, May, and Westbrook all tightly contested here.
Yeah, as you said, this is like the bloodbath division, and all these teams seemingly were at the top of the rankings last year. Sterling City obviously won the state title last year, and they are ranked number 1, which is obviously fairly deserved. A team that caught my eye is Spring Lake Earth, because I don't think they were in the rankings last year, Dylan, yet they're in at number 10, so that's a team that I want to see something from. But obviously, Rankin, they were one of the teams that no one wanted to face last year. They're at number 5. I don't know if they're underrated because they also lost a lot of senior talent, but just a team that I'll be watching out for. So now we move to Class 2A Division 2. Dylan, what do you think?
Well, I'm looking at the two teams of Mart and Winters. I feel like another final between these two teams is on the horizon. Mart has handily beat these teams last year that you're looking at in the top 4 with Wellington, but those are the two teams I'm looking at here to see each other again.
Okay, I'm looking at Mart too. I think they were given that number 1 spot just off of prestige, but that was very much earned. Mart has been in the state title game, I think maybe 4 years in a row. I could be wrong there. But as you said, they lost to Windthorst in a heartbreaking game. I believe the final score was 22-21. Windthorst at number 3, the state title winner, like you said. So that is what I'm looking out for. Like you said also, maybe they're destined for another dance in the final game, but that's something we'll just have to see. Now we move over to Class 2A Division 1. Dylan, what stands out here?
Well, a team that I don't think was I believe they should have been ranked higher is New Deal. I think they've got a lot of returning starters both on offense and on defense, Devon. And with that experience, I think they can really beat teams like Mason, Cisco, and Crawford to really, be a dark horse candidate to really make it to the finals. And the team that I think is a little overrated in a sense is the number 1 team in Refugio. I don't think with the talent they have returning that I see them beating teams like Shiner and Timpson.
Yeah, Refugio right now is my number 1 question mark at number 1. We know their Coach Herring is really good, but he's going to have his work cut out for him. As you said, Shiner beat them last year in the playoffs, and Shiner ended up winning the state championship. They still have returning starters such as Dalton Brooks and Doug Brooks returning, and those guys are heralded recruits, So I think that Shiner would be my number 1 team, but they sit at number 2 here. I think eventually they will face off in the playoffs, which I'm going to be excited for. Now we move over to Class 3A Division 2. Dylan, what do you think?
Well, the team that I have a little underrated in these rankings is Elysian Fields. They have lots of returning starters, and the general consensus I've heard is that you plug in a new quarterback to replace the one you had last year, and with everyone around them in the trenches with the defense and the offense, it's a team that could really do some damage. Then team that I don't think should be where they are is Newton. They had a tough year last year, obviously. You don't want to see that become the new norm for them. But they just have not added enough talent going into this year to really inspire confidence that they'll be sitting at the 5 spot at the end of the year.
Adding talent, Dylan, are these high schools recruiting? I hope not. But Canadian, last year's state title winner at number 3. Yet again, teams lose talent, so not super surprising, but they still sit at the top 3 spot. And then Lexington catches my eye. They have 2022 4-star athlete Jared Kerr, who recently committed to the Aggies of Texas A&M. That's kind of a sleeper team that I'll be watching out for right now. They obviously didn't go as far in the playoffs as they wanted to last season, but now they got another year of experience under their belt, just something to watch out for. Now we move to Class 3A Division 1. Dylan, there's a lot of familiar teams here. What do you think about this one?
Well, Devin, sadly I got to call one team out is Grandview. They don't have the team that they had last year, especially Yench, so I don't think that they're going to be sitting at the 7th spot, nor are they really going to be a title contender this season. I know this must hurt you a lot. And then underrated team, I think, sitting at number 10 is Hallettsville. I know they don't have Jonathan Brooks coming back, but they still have a lot of talent all around them. So I think they'll be more competitive than other people think they will be.
I think those are 2 great call-outs. Hallettsville, as you said, Jonathan Brooks is not there. Obviously, he's now at the University of Texas at Austin. But as you said, they still have talent, so that's kind of I think, going to be a team that's going to be underrated just because they lost their top guy. But I still think, as you said, they're going to be competitive. And then Grandview, yeah, they lost Dane Yench, and so that obviously is a big loss. They did get upset in the playoffs last year, which was not expected, I don't think, by anyone. But at number 7, that's kind of a prove-it ranking, I believe. And then Malakoff and Brock, I think they have something to prove as well. Brock was ranked number 1, and they lost relatively early in those playoffs. And Jim Ned, they're at number 1. They won the state title game last year, so I think well-deserved there. Now we move over to Class 4A Division 2. Dylan, this might be your favorite class just because it sits at number 1.
Well, I actually have them as the most underrated team, Devin, with Carthage. I feel like people aren't stressing enough that they're probably just going to win it all again. So not much competition, but I want to highlight it. I don't want to say I'm bullying these guys ever, but Pleasant Grove, y'all seem to come in with all these expectations,
Leave
and
them alone.
I don't believe that they're the 5th best team in this class, Devin. So they gotta prove me wrong, but they don't have the talent they had last year, and they were underwhelming again last year. So
they did let me down last year. That is on the record, but they have talent. It's just really young talent and unexperienced. And if you look at their schedule, guys, it is a bloodbath. They are testing themselves early and often, which I think will end up benefiting them down the road as that experience accumulates. But as you said, Carthage, I don't know if we can call them an underrated team, but number 1, maybe we just want to circle them for a state title winner. I won't go that far, but another shout out here. Wimberley at number 3, get some Austin area rankings. I like it. Now we move over to Class 4A Division 1. Dylan, you got your Argyle Eagles at number 1. What do you think?
Well, I think they're spotted perfectly where they should be. They are the top team. We'll have to see if other teams can really compete with them. But going into the season, Argyle is definitely the clear number 1. The team that I have rated a little too high is Austin LBJ. They had a ton of key players leave for college, and it'll be interesting to see if they can, stay where they were from last year, if they can maintain that momentum with new players. But I don't think they're gonna match that again. And then my underrated team that I think could be a lot higher. And I know they're number 3, but it's Melissa. This team. They have got dogs on the defensive line and the offensive line to really hold a centerpiece of just the team as a whole. So I'll be interested to see how the other players around them keep up. But I think they could really be challenging Cal Allen and Argyle this year, Devin.
Okay, I think Melissa, hopefully by the end of the year, they're saying who let the dogs out. But Austin LBJ, I also wrote them down as a team to watch just because, as you said, they lost a lot of talent. Andrew Makuba and McCutcheon. Makuba's little brother is there, and Oscar Gordon at quarterback is a talented guy at that position. But yet again, they lost a lot. But number 6 isn't too bad. I think they were underrated last year. I think they were at number 15 or something. So this is kind of a respect ranking in my opinion. And then you got to look out El Campo at number 4, Ruben Owens, one of the best running backs in the nation. So I think that is a deserving spot for them. But yet again, number 1, Argyle. That's the team to watch in this division, obviously. They are trying to turn into that Carthage of the 4A, but they still have a lot of work to do. Okay, Dylan, now we move to Class 5A Division 2. Any teams stand out to you?
Well, obviously, Alito is sitting at the front with Fort Bend Marshall on their tail. I'm interested to see how Fort Bend does. They've got a lot of talent coming back, so and they took their lumps in the playoffs. Heard something that they played like double digits amount of like sophomores. So that's a lot of experience coming back, and then a team that I feel like is ranked pretty high where they maybe shouldn't be is Huntsville. I mean, I'm looking at Lubbock, Cooper, Ennis, Mansfield, who I think is going to be a team that's going to play beyond where they're listed at number 8. But I just don't see Huntsville really finishing out the year stronger than these other teams.
Okay, and to go back to the Alito point, do they need to continue to win championships? Come on, guys. Let some of these other schools win something. But Fort Bend Marshall, as you said, definitely a young team. They have some players that are like 4-star recruits that have only played football for like a year or two. That's pretty impressive. The team that I'm watching out for is Lovejoy, and this is the reason. Ralph Rucker, their quarterback from last year, graduated and I believe is a preferred walk-on now for the Oklahoma Sooners. So that's a big question mark for the Lovejoy Leopards, is they're going to have to be replacing their star quarterback. Can they do it? Well, Dave Campbell's has faith in them as they are ranked at the 3rd spot. So just something to watch out for. Now we move over to Class 5A Division 1. The big boys. Dylan, what do you think about this group?
Well, obviously, again, you have Denton Ryan at the top. No surprise there. Manville, that's a team that'll have, I think, they'll compete really well with Denton Ryan this year. College Station coming out of nowhere. I think that's very warranted, especially with just the talent and how they caught fire last year, and hopefully that momentum carries into this year as well. A team that I think is ranked a little too high. They got to prove it. They probably can do it with Cedar Park. I think they have a new head coach, Devon, coming in, so this is something that just to keep an eye on. It might not be their year this year. And then I have a little underrated is Mansfield Summit sitting at number 10. They got a lot of skill guys, a lot of playmakers to watch out for. These, especially in high school when you have playmakers like this that can really help carry your team more than you might see in the NFL or college, Devon.
Yeah, Mansfield Summit pushed Denton Ryan in the playoffs last year. Obviously, they weren't able to beat the Raiders, but it was just impressive to watch. And then, as you said, I'm really watching that Cedar Park. They have a new quarterback because Ryder Hernandez will have graduated at this point. And then, as you said, a new coach, Carl Absek, took the Barbers Hill job. And so we don't know yet who is going to be coaching Cedar Park, so that will be interesting. And then Longview has some talent. They're kind of creeping up those rankings. Last year they were a pretty young team, but now they have experience. And then number 1, Denton Ryan. I mean, what else do you expect? They lost Jatavian Sanders and Billy Bowman Jr., yet still have one of the most loaded teams in Texas. It's just something that, I don't know, you can't take for granted when you're looking at Denton Ryan. You got to appreciate the greatness. Now we move to Class 6A, Dylan. This is where you got the bigger boys. What do you think about this group?
Oh my God! They got the brand name teams. You got the blue blood programs, Devin.
You got the store brand teams, yeah.
I mean, if you got to put it into terms, it's like you got the LA Lakers. You got ESPN salivating with all the huge market teams here. But yeah, I mean, not too many disagreements here. Westlake at the top, rightfully deserved. Katy. That defense, again, of course, can be strong. South Lake Carroll with Quinn Ewers. That's a team to watch as well. I mean, I'm looking at North Shore and Duncanville. I feel like there's a little bit of recency bias because they didn't do as well as obviously you would think they would in the playoffs, losing to Westlake and Duncanville going down to Carroll. So I think those two teams could maybe just creep back up into their dominance this year. Another one is Tascosita. I know I wasn't very good at pronouncing their name last year when we were making picks, but This is a team that I don't know if they'll be sitting at 6. I think U.S. Trinity, Lake Travis, maybe Arlington Martin could really push them to that spot.
Yeah, I like all the points you made, but I'm going to start at the lowest ranking we have here. Number 10, Allen. They have new coach Chad Morris. Allen always has a lot of talent, and sometimes a little bit of transfers too. But Chad Morris coming into the helm.
Where do they come from, Devin?
I don't know. They just show up. But Chad Morris, that's going to be something interesting to watch. Obviously, Allen does not pay a guy like Chad Morris to come in here and just rank at number 10. They want the gold, so that's a team to watch. And then Arlington Martin, as you said, a team to watch. They're playing Lake Travis early in the season, so that 9 versus 8, and I think it's the first game of the season for both teams. That 9 versus 8 matchup will be on display early. Euless Trinity at number 7 is going to be playing Westlake. A game to watch out for. Westlake, I think, is deservingly at number 1. 2 state titles in a row. As you said, Cade Klubnik, the Clemson quarterback. It's just, I don't know. They've already achieved greatness. Can they get more than that? That's Todd Dodge for you, though. And then, as you said, 5 and 4, Duncanville and North Shore. Just 2 teams that have been established there. Can they continue to keep their presence, though, at that 5 and 4 spot? Duncanville just scheduled Matter Day, I believe, to open the season. And Matter Day, for you guys that don't know, is from California, the top team there. So that is a big matchup. Duncanville is not afraid to schedule anybody. They scheduled IMG Academy last season. Not the greatest of results, but speaking of transfers, that is what IMG Academy is. So gotta cut, Coach Samples a little bit of credit there.
Yep.
And then Southlake Carroll at number 3. Obviously lost to Westlake in the title game, but like you said, they have Quinn Ewers. When you have the top player in the country, anything is possible. And number 2, Katy. The Katy Tigers are consistent. I believe the second ranking is well-deserved. They won the state title game last year, 6A Division II. It's not too shabby. But what do you guys think about these rankings? I know we had a lot to say about them. Let us know down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.